as you prepare for birth or for early postpartum, one of the most important relationships that you are going to need to find and then build is that with your doula. Now, if you're not familiar with the term doula, essentially a doula is a birth coach or an early postpartum kind of guardian angel, fairy godmother figure, I like to say. A doula provides continuous physical and emotional support to the mother and the couple as the birth goes, labor, birth happens, and or in those early postpartum days, weeks, months. A birth doula specifically is in some ways like a birth coach, as well as that continuous support. And in the kind of final trimester leading up to birth, she is there supporting the couple, helping to prepare for the birth that the mother and couple envision. And then on birthday, she shows up from the time she gets the call through the delivery and beyond. And this person, doulas are usually women, so this woman is just, instrumental. And she is someone that you as a birthing person will remember for the rest of your life. And the energy and the knowledge and the experience that she brings will have an immense impact on one of the most important times of your life. Whew, no pressure. Now, statistically, doulas are associated with shorter labors and deliveries, lower medical interventions, including lower cesarean birth rates, higher birth satisfaction, and overall greater maternal health before, during, and after the birth. So the data is on the side of doulas, and my personal experience as a mom of two who's had two different doulas, as well as a doula herself, I'm a little biased, very biased in that direction, because I have personally experienced how life-changing it is to have that kind of support. But not all doulas are created equal, and just like any other intimate and personal relationship in your life, the energy and the personality will make a huge difference based on who you choose to work with. So I definitely recommend talking to several doulas at least. In some ways, kind of the more the merrier, and really taking your time to interview, to get to know, to connect with several different people. And it's kind of like, I don't know if this makes sense, but kind of like house hunting, where like when you know, whether it's a gut feeling or whether all the boxes are ticked and then some, or you find yourself just really taken aback. Like that's usually a good indicator that you've maybe found the right person or the right home. And so that can really be done starting with a geographic search in your area. There are some websites, depending on the country you live in, but like in the US, there's Doula Match, and there's a couple of other directories where doulas, based on their location, can pop up. And some doulas will travel pretty far. My doula for my first birth, she drove about an hour plus to see us every time, and she was willing to do that, bless her. So even though she wasn't very, very close in the neighborhood, she was very available. And then there's of course the option to, if you don't find any doulas in your physical area, you can have a virtual support, which is also really incredible. And that would just look like virtual sessions, and then as well as access over FaceTime during the labor and delivery. That was very popular during COVID, when there was only a certain number of support people allowed in the labor and delivery experience. And so finding, again, if it's in person, using a search tool, going on Google, seeing what businesses pop up if a doula is a registered business. I also really love to recommend, if you have any moms groups that you attend, or any like Facebook groups that you know of, or WhatsApp, or whatever it is, Telegram groups that are other moms or people of the same kind of phase of life. You can put the word out there for recommendations. Some of my clients will post on their Instagram, like, does anyone have a recommendation for a great doula in the area? And word of mouth is fantastic. Plus there's that personal kind of testimonial of whoever you know that's recommending someone. And the other thing I wanted to mention about that is that your midwife or your OB might also be able to recommend a doula. And this is helpful to definitely check in, because the chemistry between you and the doula is super important, but also between your doula as well as your care provider. So I was really lucky in both cases. I was working with my care providers for both my births. They were very, very open and receptive to me having a doula as a support person. And there's also a lot of OBs out there that have misconceptions about doulas, or have had bad experiences with doulas, or for whatever reason are more guarded or kind of anti-support. And so making sure that your care provider is on board, and then even better, if there is a doula that you love who also has a good relationship or a working relationship of some sort with your care provider, will make the whole experience smoother and more easy. And then after you kind of get into that rhythm of talking to people or getting recommendations, you'll feel into not only the energy, but also what sort of kind of additional skill sets are really appealing to you. So for example, some of the women that I work with, they maybe are interested in the fact that well, maybe they have been interested in the fact that I have a prenatal yoga training experience. I can bring in poses and postures and offerings it that way. Or if your doula has a certain tradition that they're steeped in. My doula for my second birth, she had done an amazing Rebozo training, and she was able to bring in some of these practices into my labor. I thought that was super cool. So there's, lots of different offerings, but having a real choice and stepping forward saying this is the right person for me is key. And it's all part of that sense of confidence and safety. And the feeling of safety and support is 100% crucial for the labor and delivery, because that's the foundation of the oxytocin production that's gonna bring your baby earthside. I am here in loving support. If you have any questions about the process of finding a doula, or you're stumped, or you haven't had the luck that you want, or you haven't found the right person, please reach out. This is like the most important thing, or one of the many. And it's something I really deeply believe in. So